So, hello students. So, what was the last topic? I hope you all were goes through that last topic. The one of the important topic in a solid state, that is a band theory. Because without knowing the concept of band theory, you will not permitted to know actually the what is the meaning of semiconductor here. So we are going to the study about the types of semiconductor. But before that, you have to be there to go through that band theory. What is the meaning of band theory? What is the indication of forbidden zone? What is overlapping band, conducting band, highest occupied molecular orbital, lowest unoccupied molecular orbital, and how the electrons transit from the lower level to higher level through the band space or band energy. Here, first I will remind you about the band theory of semiconductor, because now the topic is semiconductor only. Now the topic is semiconductor. But before knowing that word semiconductor, as you know, the semiconductor means the type of conduction which can be in between the insulator and conductor. No? Semiconductor means having a property of insulator as well as conductor. As you know, one of the type of elements in periodic table called metalloids having the properties of metals as well as non-metals. So we are going to take that metalloids to make us some semiconductor here, because the example of semiconductor are actually based on the some of the examples of metalloids. So you have to be know what are the metalloids. First, we will go through that the particle term metalloids. Class, actually metalloids means the sum of the elements in the periodic table. You can see the boron, the 13th group, the first member boron having some property of metalloids, then 14th group carbon, except carbon, then the next one silicon, germanium having a property of metalloids. In 15th group nitrogen, phosphorus, then arsenic, antimony having a property of metalloids. In the 16th group selenium, tellurium, and in the 17th group astatine having a properties of metalloids. If I am taking the some important example of metalloids, that would be a silicon, germanium, arsenic, antimony, and tellurium. These 5 elements are most important metalloids which having a enormous role to make a different types of semiconductors. In a variety of semiconductors in a nature, in a industry, generally they are having these 5, the combination of these 5 metalloids with some other metals or non-metals. So first you have to learn this metalloids having some property, having some characteristics of metals and non-metals. And one important thing, the nature of band which is present in these metalloids are having is like this type. The filled band and empty band, the difference of energy between them is very small, so electron can jump from filled band to empty band when we increase the temperature. So generally metalloids are semiconductors, the type of semiconductor which depend upon the temperature, the conductivity depend upon the temperature, is because of the small difference of energy between two different energy bands, empty bands and filled band. So electron can jump on increasing the temperature, on increasing the heat energy. So they are called intrinsic semiconductors. Intrinsic. I am using a word intrinsic. I am using a word intrinsic. Intrinsic word is stand here. When a substance or a semiconductor, the conductivity depends upon the electronic transition of the same element. The conductivity depends upon the electronic transition of the same element. No impurities required for the conduction. The conductivity depends upon the electronic transition of the same element or same substance. They are said to be an intrinsic semiconductor like silicon and germanium. They are said to be sometimes intrinsic because at a room temperature they are not having a practical conductivity, but when we increase the temperature they are having some conductivity, except that some of the metal oxides we are having, you can see some of the metal oxides they are also having the same features. When we increase the temperature they are behave like a conductor, and at room temperature they are behave like an insulator. So you can see vanadium oxide, vanadium dioxide, vanadium trioxide and titanium trioxide, some of the example of metallic transition metal oxide that depends upon the temperature, the conductivity depends upon the temperature. So they also behave like a semiconductors. They also behave like a semiconductors. They are said to be intrinsic. They are said to be intrinsic. And other thing is called doping. Other thing is called doping. Doping means addition of some impurity from the outside. We are using that word doping. This is stand here, the addition of impurities from the outside which is responsible for the conductivity of any other given element or substance. So whenever the substance or elements having a conductivity because of the addition of some impurities called extrinsic semiconductors, and this is because of the doping. So we just dope some other elements or group of elements or other substance from outside which increase the conductivity of the given substance or given element. This is because the other element which are going to be added actually disturb the electronic transition, increase the free electrons or increase the some positive holes which is responsible for the conduction in the given temperature. So class, mind it, when we are going to be learn the semiconductor, we are actually going to be learn the extrinsic semiconduction, because means the conductivity due to the doping of any other elements. The conductivity due to the doping of any other elements. So it's very easy to learn first thing. In semiconductors, the filled band means highest occupied molecular orbital, the filled band, and lowest unoccupied molecular orbital, that is called empty band. The space between them, the energy space between them is very small. So electron can jump by doping, or electron can jump from filled to empty band by increasing the temperature. That's why we are calling on increasing the temperature the conductivity of semiconductor increases. On increasing the temperature the conductivity of semiconductor increases while conductivity of conductor decreases. Because increasing the temperature in conductor, in metals, in conductors, actually the resistance value increases, and just opposite in a semiconductor, when we increase the temperature the electron can easily jump from filled band to empty band and responsible for the conductivity. So that is called a semiconductor. Now going towards the types of semiconductor, you can see in the diagram there are two different types of semiconductors, N type and P type, generally known as electron rich and electron defect. Electron rich or electron defect, yeah, electron deficient, you can see. We are also knowing negative type and positive type. A general term we are using and negative type, p positive type. So there is two different types of semiconductor depending upon what is the nature of the doping material. What is the nature of the doping materials? It's very easy. It's very easy. I'm taking example. If you are going to the through the periodic table, if you are going through the periodic table, it's very easy to learn how we make a n-type or how we make a p-type. How we make a n-type and how we make a p-type, it's very easy. How? In a periodic table, you can see from left to right. From left to right, this is the periodic table. From left to right, there are the metals, then transition metals, then p block, non-metals, metalloids and metals. First we are starting here, alkali alkaline metals, then transition metals in between, then p block, non-metals, metalloids and metals, all the p block materials now. So when we move from left to right, if the doping material are from left and doped in right element, they always make a p type. They always make a p type. P type means lower valency material doped in higher valency material. It's a single line. In a single line, how we can learn? From the left materials, element doped in right element. The element placed in right side, also known as lower valency materials doped in higher valency materials, they give up, causes p-type semiconduction. And opposite of that, when right side element, the doping material is from right side and doped in left side materials, also known as higher valency material doped in lower valency materials. They are also given the n-type semiconduction. So it's a very easy to learn on a finger. It's very easy to learn. From left to right means doping from left to right, p-type. Doping from right to left, give a n-type. Right to left, give a n-type. It's a very easy. So whenever you are going through the periodic table, you can see. I'm now taking example. Suppose I'm taking example of 12th group, 13th group, 14th, 15th, 16th group. Set the suppose 16th group element doped in 15th group, or 16th group doped in 14th group. Doping material is from 16th group and doped in 14th group. So higher valency doped in lower valency, higher valency doped in lower valency, from right to left. So that will give n-type. Simple example now. So you can take any example from this 16th group. Oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium. The examples are 16th group: oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium. 15th group: nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony. 14th group: carbon, silicon, germanium, tin. So just take example. And 13th group: boron, aluminium, gallium, indium. So just take example. If right side element, suppose sulfur doped in silicon, so higher valency, the doping material is higher valency doped in lower valency, they will give n-type. Higher valency doped in lower valency, they will give n-type. As well as arsenic, suppose arsenic doped in silicon or germanium, again they will give n-type. arsenic doped in silicon or germanium, they always are again give a N type. Higher valency doped in lower valency. Opposite of that, aluminium, boron, gallium or indium doped in silicon or germanium, P type. They will also give a P type when aluminium, gallium, indium doped in arsenic, doped in silicon. So doping material from the left side, doping material from the left side or doping material from the lower valency side. So they will give a P type semiconductor. They will give a P type semiconductor. So class, it's learn. It's about. It's very easy to be. It's very easy to be learned. So N type means the electron rich doping of higher valency to lower valency. And opposite of that, electron defect doping of lower valency to higher valency. And diagrammatically, how you learn? Diagrammatically, how we learn? See the diagram. Suppose this is the solid structure of silicon. This is the solid structure of silicon. All the circle, all the atom of the silicons are there. Silicon group number 14, valence electrons is 4. Valence electron is 4. So all the silicon atom joined together by a tetravalent bond, a covalent tetravalent bond, but instead of one silicon, we are just doping up material arsenic. Arsenic is from 15th group. Arsenic is from 15th group having a valence electron 5. So 5 valence electron arsenic doped in 4 valence electron silicon. So when arsenic bond with silicon, the 5 electron of arsenic out of 4 electron bonded with silicon and 1 electron will be a free. 1 electron will be free, called mobile electron or free electron. So doping of arsenic causes an extra free electron in the crystal. Doping of arsenic causes extra free electron in a crystal, and that free electron now mobilized in a crystal and responsible for conductivity. Responsible for conductivity. It's very easy now. We are just doping a material from the higher valency to the lower valency silicon. 5 electron valency electron, 4 electron in silicon valency. So 4 electron bonded with 4 electron, and that 1 electron, the extra 1 electron now responsible for conductivity. And in that case they will call N type, because electron rich. The solid crystal will become electron rich. This is called electronic imperfection. That was last, no? Electronic imperfection. How we get that? Electron rich or N type semiconductor will getting from the doping material from the higher valency to the lower valency. The doping material from the higher valency to the lower valency. It's very easy. Opposite of that, positive type. Suppose we are doping indium. We are doping indium or gallium in germanium or silicon. Suppose, or boron. Suppose all these. Suppose this atom is boron. Suppose all this solid crystal is of silicon crystal. All the atom belonging to the silicon or germanium, 14th group, having 4 electron in a valency cell. And we doping the material from the lower valency, suppose boron or aluminium. So I am taking boron. Having valence electron 3. So when we dope the lower valency boron with 3 valence electron in a crystal of silicon or germanium having 4 electron, that is valence electron. So 3 electron bonded with 3 electron. 1 electron now defect or deficient to make a covalent bond, and that will create a positive hole. That there should be a 1 electron that's bonded by the boron with silicon. But there is a deficiency of electron in boron because of 3 electrons in a valency cell. So the requirement of 1 electron causes a positive hole generated between boron atom and silicon atom. That positive hole now responsible for conductivity because the positive hole now move in the solid crystal. How? Actually, this positive hole, the electron deficient center, the neighboring electron attracted towards this site and will causes here a positive hole. The same will be here also. The neighboring electron attracted towards this positive hole and there will be bond and now there will be positive hole. So that is the case why the positive hole mobilized in the solid crystal causes conductivity. You can see in the further diagram, on applying a potential from the outside, in the case of n-type, the negative electron attracted towards the positive center, the positive potential causes a flow of electron, and which is responsible for conductivity in n-type semiconductor. In p-type semiconductor, the positive holes attracted towards the negative electrode, negative center, causes a movement of positive holes and causes conductivity in a p-type semiconductor. So in n-type semiconductor and in p-type semiconductor, there is just opposite a movement of electron, the negative particle, and movement of positive hole in a p-type semiconductor, and both will causes a good conductivity in the case. Now move out the some other examples. I am taking the example from indium and antimony. You can see indium is the from the groups 13 and antimony is the group from 15. So these are the example of some 13th to 15th element. Group 13th to group 15th element combination. Indium, antimony, aluminium phosphide, AlP, gallium arsenide. These are the 3 examples of group 13 to group 15. So when group 13 to group 15 they made together, it now depend upon if group 13th element doped in group 15, they will make a p-type. Have you remember? When group 15 doped in group 13, they will make a n-type. Depending upon the doping material, we will get a type of semiconductor. Higher valency doped in lower valency, n-type. Lower valency doped in higher valency, p-type. Simply here, zinc, cadmium and mercury, they are from the last, knowing about that, the transition metal, the last group is zinc, cadmium and mercury. If they doped with group 16 like sulfur, selenium, tellurium, there will be per atom a lot of number of free electrons and positive holes generated. When zinc doped in sulfur, suppose if the zinc doped in sulfur, they will give 3 positive holes. Zinc are having 2 electrons only, 4 positive holes, sorry. Zinc is having a S2D10, last electron are S2D10. D10 will not participate in the bonding. Now S2, the 2 electron as a valence electron doped in sulfur, having a valence electron 6, causes 4 positive holes generated per atom. So they are having a very good conductivity rate. Gallium arsenide is the one of the important semiconductor we are having, which with a very enormous application of in a semiconduction. Some metal oxide like a titanium oxide, chromium oxide and rhenium trioxide, they are having a very good quality of semiconductor. They are actually sometimes act like a metals. You can see ReO3 act like a copper. In appearance and in conduction, in both the cases, this trioxide, the metal oxide, having a tendency like a copper in a conductivity and appearance both. So some metal oxide are actually act like a good conduction as like a metals. Some metal oxide having a tendency, depending upon the temperature, on increasing the temperature, then we have like a semiconductor, and at room temperature they behave like an insulator. So depending upon temperature, some of the metal oxide, in example, they will behave like a semiconductor as well as insulator. These metal oxide behave like a metals in a conductivity rate, like ReO3, rhenium oxide, trioxide. These are some example of semiconductors. So depending upon the doping condition, if you doping the very low valency, lower valency, like from the transition element like zinc, cadmium and mercury, if they will doped in the 13th group, one positive hole per atom generated in 14th group, two positive holes per atom generated in 16th group, in 15th group, three positive holes per atom generated, and in 16th group, four positive holes per atom generated. So learn about that, what is the kind of doping will be there. Depending upon that, this is all about the semiconductor topic. In the next lecture, we'll meet with the new topic, a magnetic property of the solid state. That is the last topic of your syllabus, magnetic properties of the solid state. Then after, we'll discuss about some questions, some board questions, some exercise question. Then we'll complete the chapter. But before that, just take out the note of this semiconductor topic, how semiconductor, band theory and N-type, P-type semiconductor responsible for different types of approach of the questions in a board as well as in a competitions. Students, make a proper note of this topic because it is a most advanced topic in a solid state, band theory and semiconductor. That will also help in your physics lectures. Okay, take care. Take out that screenshot. Okay, fine.